Good morning. I am Radhe Shyam Panda, working as an assistant professor in CMR Engineering College, Hyderabad. Today I am going to cover the basics of the Java programming. Basically, Java is considered as an object-oriented programming language, and the relevance of the Java in the industry is that most of the project in the software industry they are running in the Java. So as far as business of the software is concerned, Java is a very crucial language. And since it is an object-oriented programming language, the basic feature of the Java or any object-oriented programming language, it must have three properties to become an object-oriented language. First is encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. So today let us understand what is encapsulation and why it is needed in the programming. So let's try to understand in object-oriented programming all the concept that roams around the object, and we must know what is an object. So in a literature, in English literature, the object means any entity that is physically existent. So in computer technology, anything that is consuming space or anything that is consuming memory, that is considered as an object. An object belongs to a particular class. Anything that is existing must be belonging to a particular category. So the technical definition of the object is it is an instantiation of the class, and the class basically provides the blueprint of the object. While saying class provides the blueprint of the object, it means how an object, after the creation of the object, how that object will look like is decided by the declaration of the class that we are going to make. Now, let us try to understand through a program. In Java, what happens? Everything is written inside a class. So I am creating a class. Let's say class X, Y, Z. And inside this class, I will be having certain data member and some member methods. And to use this class, let me have another class where I will be writing my main function. Unlike C++, in Java, main function, main method is also written inside a class. So for that I am writing another class, and the name of that class is, let's say, class main class. And inside this I am writing public static void main args, opening of the main function, closing of the main function, closing of the main class. Now this is the space where I will be using this class, the object of this class, and this is the skeleton of the program. Now, in this class, let me have some data member. I am taking a data member, let's say, private int A. Okay. And here, if I create an object of this class, inside that object, an integer variable A will be created. So far it is not created because I have not created any object. So it means if you create a class, no memory is allocated for that class. Once the object of this class is created, then only whatever data member you are keeping inside the class, they will be physically existent inside the object. So right now no memory is consumed. This is my class. Only one data member inside this class. Let me create an object of this class inside the main function. So in Java, how to create an object? So the syntax for that is, I need to write the class name here, XYZ. After that, I'll provide certain name here. Let's say OBJ. Okay, equal to, this is assignment operator, new XYZ and this. Now look here, this is a constructor of XYZ class and it is called through new keyword. whenever this will be called, since it is a constructor, automatically the constructor of this class will be called, and what will happen? An object of this class will be created. Because by the definition of the constructor itself is, constructor constructs the object. As and when the constructor is called, automatically control goes to the constructor of that class, and if there is no explicit constructor, the default constructor will come into picture and the object will be created. But the object will be created in the heap section because we are creating that object using new keyword. Okay, so the object will be created and that object will be referred by this obj. So it will be like an object will be created in the heap section, and this object will be anonymous because it is getting created in the heap section. And since this object is created and this object is belonging to XYZ class, so it will be checked what are the data member inside that XYZ class. So only one data member, that too in the private section, one A will be created inside this object. A got created, let's say, and A is private. This object is anonymous, though it is belonging to XYZ class, but it is anonymous because it is created in the heap section. Now this will be created in the stack and this obj will be referring to this object. In this way, what will be happening? As and when we want to work with that object, we will be referring this name. So this is known as reference to that object. Now the object got created, and inside that object one integer variable A got created. That is why, since that A is written inside this class, that is why we can say that by looking into the declaration of this class, we can say whenever the object of this class will be created, how that object will be looking like. So you can see only one data member inside this class is there. So during the creation or after the creation of that object, only one data member got placed inside the object. Now this is okay, but the problem here is this data member got created in the private section of the class. Problem is, we have created the data member, and inside that data member some memory got allocated. Now how to use that memory? Suppose I want to insert a value 20 inside A. How to do that? Can I simply write here A is equal to 20? It will not work, because there may be many objects in this main function, and inside every object there may be an A variable. So during this, my machine operating system, or you can say compiler, it will be confused that A of which object you are talking about. It will try to insert 20 inside A, but where this A is this A is belonging to which object? It will be confused. So one of the remedy to this is, this A is belonging to this obj, so I can write here obj dot A is equal to 20. It should work, but it will not work because this A is inside the private section of this object, so I cannot access this A from the outside of that class. Since this A is belonging to XYZ class, I am using this A from outside this XYZ class, that is main class, so this will not be done. Here the problem arises. I am not being able to access the private data segment of the object from outside the class. This concept is known as data hiding. Now this will create a problem. I have created this memory segment, that too I have created in the private segment, and since that has been created in the private segment, I am not being able to use that. Now to rectify this problem, there is a concept called encapsulation in Java. What is this encapsulation and why it is needed? Now see, directly I cannot access the private segment, so this cannot be done. So what I will do, I'll create a method inside the public segment of this class. Let's say I'm creating a method public set data, let's say void set data, and this set data will be expecting some integer value, let's say, and here I am doing like a is equal to m. By doing this, what I am doing is, since this got created in the public segment of the class, I can access this set data from outside the class. I can do like this. See, obj.setData, this is absolutely legitimate because set data is in the public segment and I am passing a value, let's say 20, because the signature of the set data, if you look into, it is expecting an integer variable, an integer value. I am passing that integer value from here, and since this set data is declared inside the public segment, I can access it from outside the class. So this is done. Now the control will go in here. 20 will be going. 20 will be stored in this local variable m. Now this 20 will be stored in this a. Now which a? It is the a of the obj. Now since I have come inside the class and I am trying to access the a variable from within the class, that is why this 20 will be stored in this a, and having been a private data member also, being a private data member also, since I am doing it from within the class, it is very much legitimate, and this 20 will be going to this a. Now this is how the data hiding problem got rectified by writing this code. If you look into this code, you can say the data member and the member method, they are put together inside the class, and this concept is known as encapsulation. Thank you.